Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Jesse James, still trying to make a name, knowing nothing's gonna change what I am. I was a young troubadour.
We're on the same page. We should have just turned the damn camera on during the commercial break, you know? Yep. Better segment. 10:36. I love what you're doing over here at NGREC at National Great Rivers Museum. Allison Rayner joins us now. You sent me some really cool stuff. And I love this idea of opening up and really exploring the other dam systems and other locks around our region, because there's quite a few.
Yeah.
I had no idea. This shows my lack of really of looking into it, but it's so fascinating to see how that system works throughout the Mississippi and our waterways.
Yeah, it's super important for all sorts of it's a whole highway. People don't think about the river as a highway, and we're kind of like. The Army Corps of Engineers is sort of like the Department of Transportation. We have to upkeep that highway and make it so that commercial traffic can keep coming up and down river. But
I wanted to ask you, with the winter months and when the river starts to get a little bit of ice on it, how do you all combat that?
So the Rivers Project, our jurisdiction oversees the last 4 locks and dams on the Mississippi River, and we are able to keep those open year-round because we're further down the Mississippi.
Okay.
But there are locks and dams further up the upper Mississippi River that will have to close due to the river just completely icing over. We have issues with ice, but it's more ice coming down river attached to the barges.
Okay.
And we have to figure out how to get that through the system and lock that through.
And another thing about the ice I've always found fascinating, if you see chunks of it frozen over at the surface, obviously the whole river isn't frozen. There's still water moving, correct?
Right, yep.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Because I always, as a kid, you're like, everything's frozen. Those fish can't move, you know?
Yeah, and those barges can be pushing like a half a mile of ice in front of them, and ice is a pretty destructive force. So lower down the Mississippi River, what we have to do is figure out how to get that ice from one side of the dam to the other. So it can be a whole thing, for sure.
What are some, I'm not putting you on the spot, but what are some of the conversations you have when you have that situation? You have to get ice from one side to the other. Yeah,
so at Melvin Price, we have a lift gate, which is unique in that we can lower the gate just so, create a waterfall that gives us suction, and we can sweep ice and debris downriver really easily. Up at Lock and Dam 25 and 24, we're going to be talking about 24 today, there's just the miter gates, the doors that open and close. So once you get the ice in there, there's no motor on the ice to make it go. So there's lots of fanning the gates, and it can take all day sometimes.
Wow, we got lucky at Melvin Price. That shows you how important that lift gate is.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of Dam 24, the Army Corps of Engineers River Project Office, again, partnering with the City of Clarksville. Now, public touring for this doesn't happen very often.
No, so Melvin Price is open for public touring 7 days a week, and it was created for that in mind. So
really?
Yeah, so there's... if you go up on a tour of Melvin Price, there will be cutouts where there's screens for shorter kids to be able to see without having to be lifted over. But the other locks and dams were created for function. They're very industrial. So they're not open for public touring, and we partner with the City of Clarksville on some of their larger events. So we have Apple Fest in October, and then we do Clarksville Eagle Days in January, where we will bring our rangers and our museum volunteers up to Lock and Dam 24, and we will provide public touring pretty much just twice a year. It is a bit of an endeavor for us because we do have to rope off some stuff and make it safe for the public, but it's interesting because it's a completely different lock and dam.
That's what I was going to ask you. A perfect segue here, because to me, this is kind of going to be night and day different, I would assume, than a Melvin Price with a different technology there.
Yes.
So to give it all away, but let's start with this. How far of a commute is it up to Clarks, down or up?
It's up, and it's going to be from Alton, maybe an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. And and what we're offering is the tours of Lock and Dam, but there is an entire 2-day festival happening that the city of Clarksville is putting on. There's more to go up for.
Yeah, stay for the weekend. Maybe an overnighter or something at an Airbnb or a hotel, and then you have some fun in Clarksville. It's a nice town. It's quaint.
It's super cute.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And so with this, how does it differ from Melvin Price without giving away the whole secret?
Sure. So like with Melvin Price, anybody that's local and has been on a tour, you ride the elevator up, you're 80 feet in the air, and you can walk across, right, over the lock chambers. The Lock and Dam 24, there isn't that up and over. So we actually have to walk on the miter gates, so the gates that open and close. We work with the lock master, and there's no boat coming, the gates are closed, and we walk across the miter gates, which is just kind of like a screen, and you can see down, and it's a lot of fun. We also say we recommend for ages 10 and up, just for that reason. But it's an experience.
It is.
You're gonna walk across the lock. You're gonna be right next to the boats that are locking through, and then it isn't an accessible tour because it wasn't made for the public. So we do have a staircase that we have to go up, and then we can get on top of the dam and overlook the river there.
Well, and that experience alone, number one, hopefully the Lockmaster likes you guys that day.
Well, they like us.
But no, when I was in London, one of the bridges, I am going to get crucified because I forgot it. They have this thing where you can look down and see the water from up top, and there's something about that. Just even being, how high are you going to be on Dam 24? About 40?
No, I mean Lock and Dam 24 is at ground level, so the gates are like ground level, but then the water might be like 20 feet below that.
Okay, so you're going to be able to be on top of it though and see, and seeing that is actually a really cool experience.
Yeah, and at Melvin Price, we don't walk across the miter gates. Yeah.
Okay, now this is really fun. And now, have you been a part of just Eagle Days as a whole and been able to kind of go through it? Because I know you're working that day, obviously, but are you able to observe any other events, components to this?
Yeah, so we try to rotate our staff out so that we can eat and see some other
Good point.
see some other stuff going on for the weekend. We at Lock and Dam 24. So the event, Clarksville Eagle Days, is 10 to 4.
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday. The 27th and 28th, I think, is that Saturday and Sunday of January. In addition to the Lock and Dam tours, there will be World Bird Sanctuary offering free bird tours, free bird shows in what they call the Apple Shed. It's downtown, a little like warehouse type of thing. And there will be other vendors in there as well. The VFW will be doing barbecue, and then Master Naturalists will be on the riverfront at the Riverview Park there with spotting scopes looking at eagles. And
really cool.
Yeah.
I heard they have a really nice eagle scene up in Clarksville, too.
They do. Yeah, if you get lucky, you can just see like 40, 50s. They're everywhere.
That's what's wild. So when I was in Austin, they did not believe me when I said that. Because I was talking to Dustin one day, my trainer over there, and he was going, man, and his voice is so raspy. I love those bald eagles. You never see them. And it's like, I said, man, you're in the wrong spot. I see so many of them. It's kind of like, there's an eagle.
You can get jaded to it.
Yeah,
that's why if you want to get unjaded, go up to Clarksville and just see them in mass. Yeah, it's
that
crazy.
That would be awesome. And now, also, in addition to the tour days, that I do get paid, the 2 days of touring in conjunction with the Eagle Days event are adding an additional day of activities for surrounding schools that Friday.
Yeah, so we go up every January. We partner with the City of Clarksville to offer this experience in conjunction with their Clarksville Eagle Days, which is all day Saturday and Sunday. Something that we've been working towards these last few years, trying to come out of COVID, is sending all of our Rangers up that Friday as well and making it a 3-day event. Friday isn't open to the public, but getting the local schools out to be able to experience that. So we've got 6 local schools, over 200 students that are going to be coming out and spending the day with us on Friday. They'll be taking a tour of Lock and Dam 24 with Army Corps Rangers, and then rotating through to the Riverfront Park, where Audubon and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service will be doing eagle spotting and s'mores with some fire pits. And then a third rotation will be at the Apple Shed we mentioned, and Treehouse Wildlife Center will be doing some animal shows.
I really like that with the kids with the fires and things, because I did not realize how some kids don't have any experience with any type of that, and it freaks them out.
Yes.
I mean, it's a really good learning experience.
Yeah, it's a super fun winter activity to do.
Heck yeah, this is so fun. Well, and what's the goal of this, really?
The goal is to talk to people about the importance of the river. You know, the river doesn't just exist in Alton. You know, we have I mean, it's like the 4th largest river in the entire world. Like, we can get kind of jaded to having grown up next to it and live and work next to it, but it is a huge deal.
You're right. And I'm not laughing at you. It's so funny because, again, when I'm traveling and they talk about, like, they bring up the river, it's like, okay. It's like Floridians with the ocean. It's like, who gives a damn?
Right. Yeah, like, we want to go see the ocean when we go to Florida, but, like, I think of it as if we get a lot of international travelers to the museum, too. And think of, like, if I was in Brazil, I would want to put my eyes on the Amazon. Right? And that's how people feel. But we don't feel that way about our own Amazon.
Yeah,
you know?
And we don't explore it. And that's why I love that you do this and give these opportunities. Now, are you having school schedule appointments still, or how does that work for the 26th?
So we have an education coordinator who reached out to as many local schools as she could, and I think she's pretty much booked everybody that she's going to book.
How many you got coming? You know?
We got over 200 students, so it's going to be an undertaking, but we're going to do it.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be 3 days it could be sub-zero, and it's not. So it doesn't look like it's going to be.
Point.
So, and we have done it in sub-zero before.
Well, and see, that's what I think. It shows another component of NGREC and really just the National Park Service as a whole is that it's just like the mail office. It doesn't matter if it's -10 outside. We have a job to do because we are managing a major thoroughfare.
Yep.
And it's huge. And now, with that being said, what are some of the things that kind of stick in your mind when you see kids interact with, some of these exhibits and some of these demonstrations? Because I'm sure, like we just hit on, it's the first time they've been able to do these things.
Yeah,
do you see a lot of hope or just a lot of excitement about the potential for?
Yeah, so there's it depends on the child, but we get a lot of I had no idea.
Yeah.
We also will get a lot of questions about like future careers too, because we do a lot of like career stuff because people think working on the river is like you have to be a fisherman or like there's so many. You can be an electrician or an engineer or you could be a writer. There's so many ways to interact with the river,
right?
And have a future in natural resources.
And it ain't going to go away.
No.
There ain't no computer that's going to be able to do what you're doing, and that's a huge component of it. And as we're getting back to just the weekend as a whole, Saturday, 27th of January, Sunday, the 28th, which is the greatest day of the year. I don't know why, but it is.
Is it your birthday?
Yeah, it is. 10 a.m. to 3:30 at the Clarksville Eagle Days. And this is the tours of Lock and Dam number 24. 20-minute intervals? Yeah,
so the way the bulk of the festival will be in downtown Clarksville. We also have people on the riverfront looking at eagles, like I said. And less than a mile from downtown where the apple shed is and the animal shows and the vendors are, is Lock and Dam 24. And all you have to do is show up because we're running tours every 20 minutes. And if one just went, we'll get you on the next one.
Yeah.
So they're going to run, the event is 10 to 4. So we'll be running tours 10 to 3:30. We'll do our last one.
Really cool. Mm-hmm. And is there anything that you look forward to the most when you go up there? Because I wanted to ask you one last question on this before I ask you about just winter on the river.
The thing that I look forward to the most is just, I mean, it's a small town, but people come out by the hundreds.
Yeah.
And we've had people travel from quite afar saying I've lived in this area for so long and I've never been able to set foot on the Clarksville Dam. So that's so fun because it's not normally open to the public.
And it's just, and honestly, I think for a lot of people, it's going to be really insightful to see how these things around us work. I was at the North Alton Godfrey Business Council, and Dennis Wilsmeyer will be on next week from America's Central Port. But we were talking just about the freightway system that we have in St. Louis and this region, and it's huge. I mean, no one realizes that we have a global, it is they call it the national waterway, really, because of how much it helps and provides for not just us, but the country.
Yeah.
And just little nuances like that, plus seeing the fact that if we didn't have you, you wouldn't be getting half of your grain or whatever's on that barge because it'd be stuck somewhere in the middle of the river.
Yeah, so this part of the river where we're at currently would only be about 3 to 4 feet deep, and those commercial barges need a draft, which means they need to be able to sink because if they're heavy. 10 feet. Nine. Well, we maintain 9 feet.
Yeah.
But they need another foot draft, so it gets sticky during low water. But yeah, we're congressionally mandated to maintain at least 9 feet.
And now, whenever you get to this point, whenever it's -7 outside and -10, I mean, there's not much anybody can do for anything in terms of warmth or heating things up. What is your job at that point? Because you still have traffic coming through. You have thank goodness for the lift gate to make sure the ice is gone. But even though the ice is gone, you still have cold mechanical components that I'm sure you have to monitor and all of those resources too.
Yeah, so we have electricians and mechanics and welders that are proactive and reactive, and we have lockmasters and shift chiefs that think ahead about what they might need to do to mitigate any issues that are coming down the river because of weather. And then our team that works with the community, we have an entire museum there, so we can still offer warmth and interaction inside.
I just think it's really fascinating because if we ever had an issue where we couldn't get that lift gate or that dam open or whatever we needed to, that could cause some serious issues. And it's great to know the team's always a step ahead, and I'm sure works around the clock whenever it's that cold, and you know that there's a chance of something.
Well, we're always working around the clock. Melvin Price is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We don't close ever.
There you go. And that's why it's, probably one of the best locking. I just think we have such an amazing resource with you and your team and just everybody a part of it. Plus, it goes beyond the actual dam. I mean, just talking to the photo contest coordinator and hearing her insights was amazing too, because everyone on your team, no matter what their role is, really cares about NGREC. They care about the waterway. They care about what your mission is. And you have a hell of a team right now.
Yes, we do. I love coming to work because I love what I do, but also I work with a bunch of really, really amazing people.
Yeah.
But we're centered, we have our offices here in Alton, but our project's footprint is 300 miles in the Mississippi and 80 of the lower Illinois. So we have 380 river miles. We have land on both the Missouri and Illinois side. You mentioned Dennis with Central Port. We grant our property to them. Yeah, we do a lot of the Alton Marina. That's our property that we grant out to them. There's a lot behind the scenes of U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service at Two Rivers. Some of that is our property. We work in tandem with so many different agencies to try to make life on the river as good as possible.
When I was pitching the boardwalk years ago, this is 8 years ago, I was doing the research on what is actually owned by a local entity, and there was one section, and I haven't looked into it, but I'm sure it's been bought and paid for now, but there was one section of the river and the Alton side of it that really could have been utilized. The rest is yours. I mean, it's the National Corps or Army Corps of Engineers territory. I mean, that's your property. No one realizes that. They're like, well, why don't they just build all this stuff? Because it's not ours.
We have just our project alone is, I believe it's about 50,000 acres of land and 100,000 acres of water.
Just incredible.
Yeah.
Hold on here. 100,000 acres of water? Is that just the river?
Yeah, so Saverton, from Saverton, Missouri down to Cairo is our jurisdiction, our footprint. And then once you get north of that, you get into the Rock Island district and those locks and dams.
That's incredible. Let's get back to, because I'm running out of show time today. Just talking to you is so fascinating to learn about this. We're talking about the Park Rangers again, open Lock and Dam 24 to public touring. This is during the Clarksville Eagle Days. Throughout the 2-day event, Park Rangers will offer public tours of Lock and Dam 24, which never really usually happens. This is exciting.
It's special.
What have I not hit on that we need to get across? Did we tick all these boxes already?
We've ticked most of them. I just want to try to make sure that people understand that it's an hour and a half. It's not that hard.
It's a good day trip.
It's going to take you 45 minutes to get to the zoo. You know what I mean? And people make that commute all the time. Just head up. It's a beautiful, it's different on the river there.
Yeah.
So here we're just downstream of the confluence with the Illinois. It's much larger. So if you go up, it's a smaller river, it's a different river, it's a different dam, and there is an entire 2-day festival going on. So just come see us.
Well, and let me give a little bit more to that live read. Hey, you got to drive, like Allison said, 45 minutes to the zoo. In that 45 minutes, you are going to get ran off the road twice. You are going to get somebody riding your butt in the right lane because they don't realize that's the cruise lane. You're going to have all this happen to you. You might have, people flipping you off, yelling at you. It's a war zone on 270 and 367. and you can take a nice, relaxing trip up to Clarksville.
It is.
And just relax and enjoy the weekend, because that's all really you can do.
Yep.
Allison, I always appreciate your insights, and thank you so much for always stopping by. 10:56 the time on this Thursday morning. We'll take a quick break, and I'll come back and wrap up the show and see if I'm going to get in any trouble today and start ranting.